Hi, it's Justina here from Flight of the Phoenix Holistic Therapy. Today we're going to be talking about anger and resentment. Anger being the simpler emotion, strong dynamic, resentment being the kind of outcome of anger that had been held within your body for quite some time. So, why am I talking about this? Because it's pretty close to my heart. I am often perceived as an angry person. I am quite resentful. I'm obviously working on it. It's still a process. But I kind of wanted to say why it happened, where it's coming from, and kind of how I'm dealing with it today. So having had some complex trauma in my youth, in my childhood, I've learned that my needs are not important, that I do not matter, I'm not worthy. Basically, I'm a secondary person, everybody else matters more than me, which create that belief or decision that was very vivid or in my adult life, especially as a young adult. Whenever I would get into new environment, I would observe what are the needs of other people, what I'm required to do, what are the expectations, and I would become that person that people want me to be to survive. So that would come from fear of being rejected, of being alone in the world. So it is it is a coping survival mechanism that stems from my childhood. Now, obviously, because I'm a person and it's in myself and I have needs, I often push them down, um, as if betraying myself at all times. Um, I was neglecting myself. I was making conscious choices, conscious and unconscious choices where I let other people to dictate my life. Um, without any boundaries. So I had no boundaries. I would just do whatever I'm expected to do, like a good girl that I am. And because I was pushing my own needs, um, and kind of whatever my expectations were from the people, that created anger. My boundaries, which I have not communicated to anyone, have been constantly crossed. I didn't even know what my boundaries are. I didn't have any. So whenever people would cross those invisible boundaries, which I could not recognize at the time, I would blow up in anger, frustration, often tearing up, crying. Just as an example, I would be in a corporate job. I would choose the people there who are representation of my parents. I would choose the main person that is in power as someone who can dictate my life. And so I would basically give them that power. And I would always do whatever they need me to do. But then, if they got angry at me or I did not meet their expectations for any reason, because I'm only human, they would obviously reprimand me or give me feedback, uh, which maybe in their view was helpful or not. But I would take it very personally and the resentment would build. I would think to myself, well, how dare you? I'm doing everything for you. I literally bend over backwards. How can you not see how much I care for your needs? And that would build that intense emotion, feelings in my I'm quite tactile, so basically what I would feel is that tension in my chest, tension in my throat, a heat in my face. And I would keep holding and holding those emotions and those feelings in my body and feel really obstructed and confined, powerless. When and if something would happen again and again and again, I would blow up. It would be like a raging anger. Where did I learn that reaction? From home. My mom would basically defend herself, or when she was scared, um, she would react with anger. This is how I've learned this behavior. Um, I would react the same way. So some people will close completely. I'm opposite. I will explode. Um, when my basically when I've been crossed or pushed too far, too much. Um, So yes, it's everything stems from your childhood, the behaviors you've learned, how additionally how your parents dealt with the problems that they were facing. You observe, you learn, you absorb the information, and you react the same way unless you decide different. So obviously, holding emotions strong as anger, which we're not being taught as children how to process, it's usually called a very negative emotion. Anytime the child is angry, we're trying to calm them down, um, and we kind of get angry ourselves, and um, there's this entire ordeal and stress, flight and fight situation that parents kind of trying to navigate around this emotion and call it whatever it is, negative, bad. Don't be a bad boy, don't be a bad girl, things like that. So because we're not being taught how to regulate ourselves emotionally, we learn from behaviors from our environment. Therefore, it's gonna project and reflect in our adulthood. So yes, this is kind of what I've been doing till I was, I think, oh, good 34 years old. My 20s, my teenage years and 20s were quite angry. I had an even t-shirt that would say, if I cared, I'd ask. And it's funny now, but it's true. I just tried to, my boundaries were pushed so much that I started pushing people away myself. So, yeah, pretty big things. The resentment can be shown in sarcasm a little bit. We often, I'm pretty good in sarcastic remarks and comments because there is resentment inside. My boundaries were crossed. I didn't say anything. I'm blaming those other people, those circumstances. But really, I'm the one to blame because I have not set the boundary. I have not communicated the boundary clearly. I didn't even know what the boundary is. Um, and that's okay. It's not that I'm taking full blame for it, but that's the process of healing. We're supposed to discover those things about ourselves, learn what we value, what's important to us, who's the most important person here. And it will always be you are number one, as in I am for myself number one. My needs are important, what I'm prepared to do and what I'm not prepared to do. Of course, we're not gonna get what we want all the time, which I'm learning every day. Um, but yes, this is what we doing in the process of healing. We learning about who we are, um, what we need, how we need to express ourselves, um, so people can understand um, what how far they cannot push you, basically, if they can push you at all. Um, and it's sometimes confronting. Sometimes you make decisions, well, maybe this environment isn't for me. Maybe I've, you know, I'm surrounded by people that will never respect my boundaries, and maybe I need to remove myself from this situation. Um, so, in order to keep yourselves healthy, you do need to surround yourself with people, with support that respect your boundaries, that don't push you all the time. A little bit of stress is okay. To learn, like nothing grows in comfort. Of course, we need a little bit of stress in life in order to learn, grow, to progress, elevate to another level. Um, but in a supportive and kind of environment where we can take small steps rather than be pushed into the deep end. There's the saying, which was used to very popular, sink or swim. Yeah, I was very proud of that I'm able to do that. But is that really something to be proud of? Um, that I can do many things independently, but at the end, the stress falls all on my shoulders. And there's plenty of people who could help me, support me. Um, but I did develop that kind of push and pull where I would do anything for everyone, and then I wouldn't ask for anything, and then hold that resentment and anger. Why nobody's helping me? Because I never asked. That's why. Because I never expressed that I need help. I always pride myself in my independence. Um, Additionally to this, I'm a very, well, fiery or passionate person, which can often get confused with anger. Similarly, like fear and excitement, they are placed very close in our body. Um, so sometimes it's confusing to people when you are passionate that you're vocal, expressive, you speak faster, louder, um, and people might confuse it with anger. However, if you are passionate, the switch from passion to anger is pretty fast, at least for me. So again, managing that and kind of don't burn yourself too fast. Slow it down. Learn patience, something that I'm working on all the time. So anger, how do I deal with it? I mean, look, sometimes um, I just need to just punch something. So I am going to jujitsu classes and I hit the pad, or I screaming is good, but obviously screaming might cause some issue for the neighbors. So it's a muffled scream when you grab a towel and scream into the towel, and you scream on top of your lungs to kind of release that emotion. Because how can I describe it? For me, it's like explosion. It's like I'm holding, and then boom. And if you close, you're gonna get hit. Um, and that's unfortunate because often the people who are close to us are people who mean the most to us. Therefore, they're gonna get hit with that blast, and they don't deserve it. If you don't heal your trauma, you're gonna bleed out on other people, um, and blame other people for things that they haven't done. We all are here to learn lessons. Some people we meet gonna be karmic relationships that we have to learn from and grow from. They're not gonna be pleasant. We all are here to learn how to grieve, to lose someone, to be sad, to experience all those emotions. This is an experience. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And that's what I choose to believe, and that's what I helps me in healing myself. I like to believe that even though we can't control anything, we have choices. And I think that's the main message here, that you are in control of your reactions, you are in control of your decisions, of your choices. Unless you've been, put in prison or done something where you've been closed by authorities, you have the freedom to choose um, and to do whatever you want and communicate that. You have to communicate your needs, you have to establish your boundaries, and you can only do that by learning who you really are. Because your trauma, your emotions, is not you. That's just additional things. It's not you. You are the process. You are the experience of life. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to be amazing and get it all together. Nobody has it all together. There's a lot of fake stuff. I do it myself. My Facebook looks amazing. In my personal life, there's no sadness in there, only beautiful things. Because it's my memories. I'm choosing to focus on positive things. That is my choice. It's very easy to go down the spiral of anger, of sadness, of resentment. Um, but in the words of, what was it, Yoda? I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to suffering. Or was that hate? That anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, and suffering leads to dark side. And it's very easy to go into dark side and stay there, choose toxic behaviors instead of healthy choices. It's so much easier to just numb yourself. I know I'm doing it often. But we keep trying, we keep working on ourselves, and I hope that this message gives you hope that you can do it too. We all are on healing journey. You won't reverse years of trauma, abuse, or even small short episode of trauma in one day. It requires work. It requires you to reflect on yourself, on who you are, your emotions, your thoughts, your triggers. So I hope I helped here a little bit. If you want more practical tools and tips on how to deal with anger and resentment, I have made a post on Facebook and Instagram. Um, nice little lists. There's 10 little pages there. And you can read that through it. Or share with me your own journey and your tools to educate me. Maybe it will work for me too. Cool. We all in this together. So keep safe, keep strong, and what else I could say? Let's heal. Bye.